Hi, good evening. So each semester when I teach this class, I encounter many students reluctant to depart from using Microsoft Excel due to its simplicity of its nice graphical interface in favor of MATLAB. And so my preference is to do everything from the command window from command line. That way, regardless of any future updates or whether I'm using MATLAB here or on the supercomputer, I know that everything will work just the same. But to help ease your transition from Excel, the purpose of this screencast is to show you how to create vectors and matrices and edit vectors and matrices graphically using MATLAB's spreadsheet-like editor. And so first, let's start with editing. Okay, so if I'm in my command window and I were to create a vector using bracket notation, just as we had discussed in the text, and so elements of that, or in this case, this row vector could be separated by commas or spaces. So I'm going to create this vector 2, 4, 5, 6. All right, so if I press return, I see this vector, row vector 2, 4, 5, 6 is assigned to S. And so in my workspace, if I were to double click on it, okay, it opens up in essentially a spreadsheet, right, where I have one row and 4 columns. If I want to edit this vector, right, if I want to change the second element to say 3, okay, bam, change to 3, close it, okay, come back to my editor, right, second element now 3 instead of 4. Besides double clicking, the other way I can edit it is using this open variable button. Okay, so if I click on the drop down, right now the only variable that exists in my workspace is S, right, and so if I click on it, right, it brings S up. So let's change the third element to 6. Okay, bam. So now the third element of S is 6. Great. Okay, so this works for vectors and matrices. So if M is going to be a magic matrix, right, 4 rows and 4 columns, right, and double click on it, and I could go in and I could edit anything I wanted. So I'm going to change second row, third column to 11. All right, second row, third column is now 11. All right, cool, easy peasy. Okay, so let me clear the screen. Okay, now if I want to create variables from scratch, so we could use things like magic or rand, or bracket notation to create vectors, and then use a semicolon to create a matrix, or I can just click new variable. If I click new variable, it opens up essentially one of these blank Excel sheets. And so let me create a vector of 4, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12. Okay, bam. Okay, so I just created a vector. So this is a row vector, 1 row, 6 columns. So right now the variable is named unnamed, right? So you already see it popping up in my workspace. If I want to call it something else, all I need to do is click on the tab and call it whatever I want. So if I want to call it capital V, all right, there you go. I just renamed it. So in my command window, I type capital V, all right, here's my vector as I just created it, all right, cool, all right, and again, it doesn't get much easier than that, right, and there's all sorts of, fantastic things in here. So if I'm building up a matrix, so let's say this is, okay, so, sorry, I just typed 5 in my command window. So if I want to go to row 2, 5, 6, 7, see how it already automatically fills in zeros. Right? It's kind of like when we were creating things in the command window. Okay, bam. Okay, so now if I display V, right, now it's a matrix. All right, 2 rows. Okay, and you'll see we even have, just like in Excel, we can insert a row. So if I want to insert a row above, bam, I can insert a row above. Okay, if I want to insert a column in between that, right, you can insert column to left or right, right, and we can, add or build on. All right, likewise, you can, delete rows and columns, and you could take your matrix or vector and you could literally transpose it right there from the command window. Okay, cool. All right, and so let me close that. So now V, capital V, caps on, right, has that extra row and column added in. Okay, and so as you'll see, you could just as well create matrices and edit them just like you might do in Microsoft Excel. Okay, and one thing we'll come back to, I'll show you once we have larger data, is this also affords you the ability to essentially highlight your data, copy it, then open up Excel and paste it, besides just using XLS read and write. Okay, and so with that, that is, on the Home tab, the new variable and open variable buttons, or instead of just open variables, if they're present here in your workspace, you could also just double click on them.